positive way. When will we have one solution? Get it out. When will we have two solutions? When the constant is, when the rational number is 0. Why? The absolute value of what number is always 0? 0 itself. That's why we say, and the solution will be x is equal to 0. Whatever is within the absolute value should be equal to 0. So that when we take its absolute value, it gives us 0. ዮሐንስ what are you? ስንታችሁ ላሉ እስኪ ዞር አሉ መሬት አስገብተው ዞር አድርገና ስትሬት ወደዛ እያየ አንተ አስራት ጃኬት ዞር አሉ የሚቀጥለው ሰዓትን መልሶ ትምህርት እየተማራችሁ ትጮታላችሁ። Then you say the equation will have no solution. When will an absolute value equation have no solution? When will an absolute value equation have no solution? Yes, because the absolute value of any equation can never be 0, yeah? Yeah. Because this will be 0, then the solution set will be what? What do we call this? Empty set. Why? Because the absolute value of any number can never be less than 0. Can it? Because we say when it comes out of the absolute value, it's always what? Positive. It can never be negative. So we try to solve some questions related to absolute value. We solve questions for 2 classes I know. Yeah? This is our 3rd class. Yeah? So let me give you one question and let's work with that. Let's see. How can I solve this? Who can tell me?
Should we write this?
No. You already did this, just a reminder, okay? Okay, let's start from this one. So, what's the first step in solving absolute value equations? The first step. What should I do? Don't tell me, do this, do that.
Oh.
Generally, for all absolute value equations, what's the first step right now?
You take out the 5 to look.
Why do I do that? You see? Now we are looking at a particular question. Generalize it for all absolute value equations. Why do I do that? Why do I do that? Yeah.
To collect letters.
No. Why do I collect letters? Is the question.
To reduce the.
Why do I need to reduce?
To a standard.
To always write the absolute value equation in the standard form, which is absolute value on one side, constants on the other. So to do that, as I said, I have to remove the what?
5.
The 5. To remove the 5, I have to understand the operation between the 5 and the absolute value, right? What's that operation? That's it. What's the operation between 5 and the absolute value of 7x minus 3? What's the operation? That's it. What operation is this? Ade, what's the operation between 5 and the absolute value of 7x minus 3?
Times.
Times. So the operation is multiplication. So I'll use the inverse operation, which is division. So I divide both sides by what? By 5. So now I have managed to change it into what? Standard form. Absolute value of x on one side, the constant on the other side. Are we clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Why is it, I thought it was 7x minus 3, right?
No, I didn't do anything. It's the 7x minus 3.
Yeah, but you said multiplication.
So, to change it into standard form, absolute value should be on one side, constant on the other. I'm trying to change this to this format. So, here, the one that didn't make it in standard was 5, like you said, removing the 5. Removing removing the 5 doesn't mean distributing the 5. Because this is absolute value, not bracket. So that's why I have to divide both sides like that. So don't consider this to be a bracket.
So anytime
It's never a bracket, it's absolute value. So we don't distribute 5 over this 2. Are we clear?
yeah. So if 3, like minus 3 minus that, so plus 3 minus.
Yeah, you minus.
It's still the same thing.
The same. Let it be plus, I know. The signs don't matter as long as here we are only concerned with removing the 5. We haven't started solving the absolute value yet. Now it's in standard form. Absolute value on one side, constants on the other. What's the next step? Step 1, changing it to standard form, done. Step 2. Step 2 will be? Don't worry, I don't care. What did you say? How? For that? Yes, alright. Finding the absolute value means, come on.
So you take the number out of the
Before that, before I actually start, so those of you are actualizing. Before that, there is something you must. What's that? Before that, decide on which of these 3 cases you will solve this. Once you turn it into a standard form, then you check that. How many solutions will this have? Why? Because very big. So, since 9 is bigger than 0, we have how many solutions? 2 solutions. What are the solutions? X is equal to x, come on. X is equal to negative. What does this mean? For us, our x is what? 7x minus 3 is our x. Whatever is within that, absolute value. So, in our case, it will be what? 7x minus 3 is equal to 9. And then 7x minus 3 is equal to. So what does it mean when we do this? It means whose absolute value gives you 9 when it comes out of the absolute value? The absolute value of negative 9 and the absolute value of positive 9. So when you are writing this, we are looking for the value of x that will make this whole expression positive 9. So when we take its absolute value, it gives us 9. Are we clear?
Yes.
Kurang sir. Pamali sih. Dia teman-teman. Dan itu yang buku yang selalu. And the second case, this one means the absolute value of negative 9 is 9. But we don't have only x here, we have our expression. So when we say 7x minus 3 is equal to 9, we are looking for the value of x that makes the whole thing equal to negative 9. So when we take the absolute value of negative 9, it gives us 9. That's what we mean by this case. This has no relationship with 9. Are we clear? The absolute value of this thing is 9 means what number should it be here? It's either the absolute value of negative 9, that gives us 9, or the absolute value of intelligence atau power. Last number. If you have a question, raise your hand. Okay. We are not concerned with this 9. We are concerned with this. So whose absolute value gives me 9? The absolute value of negative 9 is 9. The absolute value of positive 9 is 9. But here, we are given this in expression, not in a single variable x. So, we have to find the value of x that makes this whole expression equal to negative 9. That's what we do. And you have to find the value of x that makes the value of this whole expression to be equal to 9. That's what we mean. So when we take the absolute value of positive 9, it gives us 9. So the absolute value of negative 9 also gives us 9. So we're looking for the values of x that will make this whole expression to be true 1. That's the secret. Is it clear?
Yes.
Dr. Chan?
Yes.
Let's go on. Now, we decided since 9 was bigger than 0, it will have two solutions. Why did we decide it will have two solutions? First, the absolute value of what number gives me 9? The absolute value of negative 9 gives me 9. And the absolute value of positive 9 gives me 9. But here, I have an expression. So when I have these two cases, that is, when 7x minus 3 is equal to 9 means, I'm looking for the value of x, that will make the value of this whole expression to be equal to positive 9. So when I take its absolute value, it gives me 9. And this one means, I'm looking for the value of x, that makes the value of 7x minus 3 equal to negative 9. So when I take the absolute value of negative 9, it gives me 9. That's why we have two cases in the first case. We have it straight. It's not at home. So now we simply solve using the rules of equation. So 7x minus 3 plus 3, 9 plus 3. 0, yes? Or simply taking 9 to the other side. Am I right?
Yeah.
Then 7x equals 12 over 7 over 7. X equals 12 over 7. The same thing will do here. 7x equals negative 9. When 3 goes to the other side, it will be plus 3. So 7x equals negative 6. Since this is negative and positive, we'll find their difference. And we will take the side of the bigger number. And then we'll divide both sides by what?
7.
So x equals
Negative 6 over 7.
negative 6 over 7. So we are saying, when we are saying x equals 12 over 7, what do we mean? 12 over 7 is the value of x that makes 7x minus 3 to be equal to 9. Let's see if that's true. The equation is 7x minus 3 is equal to 9. So in x place we substitute 12 over 7 minus 3 should be equal to 9. This is 7 over 1. Then it becomes, am I right? So when we take the absolute value of 9, it gives me 9. That's the secret of absolute value. You learned it in one variable, but then we extend it to expressions. That's the only thing. But this whole thing is still what? A single number. It's either negative 9 or 9. So we're looking for that value of x that makes it negative 9, the expression. We're looking for the value of x that makes the whole expression to be equal to negative 9. Okay. Yes?
So, when we put negative 6 over 7, it's the same.
It gives me
9.
negative 9. And when I take the absolute value of negative 9, it gives me 9. You can check. 7 into negative 6 over 7 minus 3 equals 9. 7 by 7. Oh, sorry, negative 9, yeah? So negative 6 minus 3 equals negative 9. Negative 9 equals negative 9. So the absolute value of negative 9 demo one is that? So it's true. Go back.
Yeah.
Go back to but here this is tricky. You try it in the front. So, science, be very careful of science here. Negative, positive. No. Last time, example is the right. Don't forget to speed your exercise.
What's this minus? What do you mean?
Yeah, so you don't expect it to be like that.
What do you mean split it?
Half, so that you on one page, half it. Ne? That's your job. Check it. Don't worry, write it and then you copy. No. Do the example and then you copy.
Today's next year.
Today's, Thursday. December 10th. Fast, please. You have 5 minutes to do this. very careful of signs here. Just as you will be careful in solving equations. Here, is 5 positive or negative? Is 5 positive or negative?
Positive.
The sign of a number comes before it, not after it. So this means what? The absolute value of 4x minus 4 is being multiplied by negative 1. So this whole thing is negative, yeah?
What?
This whole thing is negative. It has a negative sign before it. That means it's negative 1 when multiplied. It's like negative of 5x minus 5, etc. This means negative 1 times, yes?
Yeah.
The same thing. But here we don't multiply because it's absolute value, not bracket.
So it's 5 minus 4. Oh.
No,
It's not.
change it to standard form first.
Oh.
So that the absolute value can be left on one side and the constants on the other
Yeah,
side.
that's why the negative one is split the other.
So there is a negative sign before it, consider that.
So,
Yes. But you have to remove that. You have to remove that. It's not in standard form, yeah? No.
4x minus 1.
Standard form is what? The coefficient is positive 1, yours is negative 1. How can I remove the negative?
Oh,
You
what
should
is
do
that?
something both sides of the equation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see? You want to 5 positive 1, and you want to side is not positive 1. It's this one that is negative. Because there is a function of negative 1 multiplied. So this is negative, then 5, and then here, still 5 positive.
Yeah, this is the minus.
No, where does it come from?
Because it said 5.
No, when you take this to the other side, it's negative of this. Because what did we say last time?
Oh, kapay.
What does A minus B mean? It means A plus negative B. So if I want to switch place, negative B comes and A goes there. No, when this comes here, it's still negative. That's what I say. Look, Johannes, A minus B means A plus negative B. So if you want to make them commutative, it's negative B that comes in, not positive.
So should we write the solution sequence of volumes?
When you exchange them, the absolute value is negative on that side. Huh? Yes, here. Then, is this in standard form? No. Because standard form is what? The absolute value of x is equal to a means 1 is the coefficient. But yours is negative 1. Remove the negative 1 by dividing both sides by negative 1. And then solve it. Why do you solve it? You have to who said that? A positive number. What is minus 1 is just an expression.
That's X. Mr. I'm sorry, I confused it from what
This is still negative. And 5 when it goes to the other side, it will be negative. 5 is positive here. When it goes to the other side, it becomes negative.
So minus 3.
I confused X for
No?
I asked you
there is a subtraction sign. So 5 is not multiplied. It's not right. No, it's not. No.
Yeah, I understand. I can't
We did count. Yes. No, not. We have positive. 5 already positive.
And then I.
I decided to divide both sides of the equation by 5 because the operation here is multiplication. Here is not multiplication. Okay? Bawah kata pasti negative 1 divided by 1 is negative 1. Negative 1 boleh saya. Negative 1 kita pakai. That is quite not that. No.
What is happening? You didn't see it.
Sorry. It doesn't complicate the parameter. It's a very simple concept. Indeed, must have a choice. I just gave you the answer here. 5 minus the absolute value of 4x minus 4 is equal to 7 means. Let's leave this. Let's talk about this side first. I wanted to bring this here and I wanted to bring this here. So this whole thing is negative of the absolute value of 4x minus 4 plus 5. That's why I said a minus b means a plus negative b. Subtracting a number means subtracting an integer is the same as adding the additive inverse of that number. Subtracting 5 is the same as adding negative 5 in the number. What does it tell us about traffic? It's better if you listen here. Come on. For 5 here is positive. So when I take it here also, it will be positive. Am I right?
Yeah.
Or in other words, 5 minus the absolute value of 4x minus 4 means 5 plus the negative of the absolute value of 4x minus 4. So if I want to exchange this, it's negative of 4x minus 4 that comes here. And it is 5 that goes there. You can study this using this. Let's say 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is how much? 3. But in terms of integers and now rational numbers, subtracting 2 from 5 is the same as adding, what's the opposite of 2?
Negative.
Negative. 5 plus negative 2 is also? This concept becomes important like this one, when you want to interchange the places, so that you can remove the absolute value, the number and the value. So look here, 5 minus the absolute value of 4x minus 4 is the same as what?
5 plus negative
Of the absolute value of 4x minus 4 equals 7. So now I can do this here and I can do this here. That means the negative of the absolute value of 4x minus 4 and
equals to
plus 5 equals 7. Now I can take 5 to the other side.
So plus 9.
So the negative of the absolute value of 4x minus 4 equals 7 minus 5 gives me 2. Is this in standard form? No. Because standard form is what? The absolute value of x is equal to 8. Is it negative? So there is a coefficient negative 1 multiplying it now. This is multiplication. So now I have to do it using division because the operation is multiplication. But here it wasn't multiplication. So now I have to divide both sides by negative 1 so that I can remove the negative. If I divide by 1 now, negative 1 divided by 1 is still negative 1.
Yeah.
So I want to remove the negative. So I divide both sides by negative 1. Negative divided by negative is? So now it's in standard form, you see? Am I right? 2 divided by negative 1 is?
Negative.
What's the second step? Deciding on the cases, yeah? After I change it into standard form, I decide on the cases. There is no solution because the absolute value of any number can never be negative. But did you do these workouts? At least if you do this, most of it, cheap challenge of couple of keys. When the absolute value has a negative side. Madam Mario, it is very easy. Look. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your no. What if it was addition? Both are positive. Now it's very easy. minus 5, the absolute value of 4x minus 4 is equal to 2. Now, since 2 is bigger than 0, it will have two solutions. What are the solutions? 4x minus 4 is equal to 2 and 4x minus 4 is equal to negative. If it was positive, it would have been very easy because both numbers were positive. Even if 5 was negative, would it have been a problem? No. Because when 5 goes to the other side, it becomes plus, and all these numbers become 12, negative 12 and positive 12. But when this value, the thing we should be very careful about is when this is negative.
And there's also
5 is a set, our plus 5 number. This 5 is also supposed to be Carolina. It's the negative that is negative.
So, 0, negative 1, it's empty.
No, it's after changing to standard form like this, because sub plus 5 becomes 12. It's still not in standard form, so I have to divide both sides by 1, by negative 1. So the absolute value of 4x minus 4 now becomes negative 12. The absolute value of the number can never be negative. So the solution is everything. Is it clear now?
Yes. It's still, my conclusion is still right.
How is it right?
No.
Sarah, you know
I said possible.
so that's not. Up to here, we're right.
Yeah.
But here, 12. 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 1. That's where we're going from. You didn't change it into the standard form. And you didn't think that this was negative. Negative side before it.
So, and it got constant. If the absolute value is negative, the set is equal.
Yeah, but still you didn't do that correctly, yeah.
So that's how I do it.
Okay. So you should be very careful with the absolute value as a negative sign before it, okay? Don't forget. That's the only case that's difficult. The rest is very easy, just let's check it. Let's try this.
Not.
Example, just add. Example 5, 6, whatever. Try this. Work out the faces, huh? Within after the main conversation study is after. And these are all components of the solution. Men? Here are the using on the support side. Then come out to the bottom of the video. All of the last one can have a very thorough. Tomorrow, let's start. The third time, now we have to see again. The same with conclusion is one may answer in the correct, God will be right. It's up to you. Why do you share? It's yours. Is it yours? So why do you take? Let me see that yours. Before you have to finish. Before you for around to yourself. Corona has any amount of us. The bigger one. What good? You're not saying Look at this one. This is very easy because it's positive. This is also positive. You just mix it. Who's your own teacher?
You.
Mas a ela só é nada. Biology. Men? ያኛው ያኛው ናቸው ሴትን ስላላረከ ያኛው መጽሐፍ አይሰጥም ሴትን ናቸው ወረቀቱን አስፈርሙና ያመሳችሁ አቤት ያ something else. Instead you have the operation multiplication, the system of absolute values and calculate operations, መደመር ነው እንጂ ማባዛት ነው። ማባዛት ነው ነው ተከትሏል።
ግን ይሰጥልኝ
ማባዛት እጅን ማውጣት ሲቀር ጀመረ ነው እዚህ ውስጥ ለማሰል ሲሆን don't do anything without support. Only if he goes to the other side. I don't know. Yeah. And also, what's supposed to be minus there? Very wrong. Inside here.
It became the negative on the last exercise.
Yeah.
Negative now, you didn't change the operation.
The minimal negative, negative. I didn't do any operation with it. You have to do something. No substitutes. Because the value of x is not normal. The next one here, this was negative. That's right. I didn't do anything to this. This is the 2 negative right side. This is the right side. And then I was able to start spending. I didn't do anything to this. Did I do anything? But since I have to cross it, I can't be negative. Because I changed it into standard. Until I get to that point, I'm within the absolute value. No. Yes. No. Sometimes it's right. That is typical. Yes, but what is happening is after six or like no. ሶስትና በአብሶሉት ቫልዩ መካከል መደመር ነው የሚባለው። መደመር ተቃራኒ ነው። ስለዚህ ሶስት ከዚህ ቀጥታ ሶስት ከዚህ ጋር አይደል? If you want to get the road, mind for some responsibility. If you hear me, follow my rules. It's the last time I'm telling you. N-I-G. Without my permission, if I see you speaking, you're dead. You're talking to me. I don't know. What's the number? Negative number. What's the number? What? What is it? I think our time's up. Let's solve this and then here, some of you did this. Is it correct? Why isn't it correct? Why isn't it correct? Yes, Galina. Why isn't the division correct? Because the operation here is addition. You should do the opposite of addition. The plan? Just because if it was like this, yes, the operation is multiplication. If there is no sign between 3 and absolute value expression, yes, that can be multiplication, so we do the opposite, which is addition. But in this case, the operation is what? Addition, and both are positive, so I can simply take 3 to the other side, and what remains here? 2x minus 2 equals 15 minus 3 is 12. Since 12 is bigger than 0, how many solutions? 2 solutions. What are they? When this expression is equal to negative 12, and when this expression equals to positive 12, so when I take it out of the absolute value, it gives me 12. That means 2x minus 2 equals 12, and 2x minus 2 equals negative 12. So when I take to the other side, it becomes 12 plus 2, 14, over 2 over 2, x equals 7. And here, 2x equals negative 12 plus 2 when I take to the other side. Then what? Negative 2 plus 2 is what? Negative 10. This is negative, this is positive. 12 minus 2, okay, and you take the sign of the bigger number. Over 2, x equals? So the solution set will be the set containing negative 5x. So today's homework will be in your Google Classroom. I'll be posting questions and we'll do those. Are we clear? If you have any questions, you can ask me outside for break time. Okay? Last break, yeah?
Is it possible for it to have more than 2
No, because the only absolute